Welcome to our discussions on surface mining machinery. Today we will be discussing about another continuous excavation machinery called continuous surface miner. This continuous surface miner is a compactly designed surface cutting excavator, and it has combined the cutting, crushing, loading all in one machine. This machine was introduced in India, particularly in limestone mining sector in the late 80s, early 90s, but in coal mining sector it was introduced after 1997-98, and this machine has come out to be one of the most productive machine because of its many advantages. You can see that this technology is not a new one. It was introduced in 1979 also. This technology were used in mines, but there are machines produced by Vidgen company. Particularly they were using first as a civil for road paving machines it was developed, but today in India most of the coal mining they are using, surface coal mining is using continuous surface miner. Now, in the picture you can see the continuous surface miner produced by Larsen and Toubro L&T in their Kanchbahal factory in Odisha. You can see this is used in limestone as well as in coal. This is also used for hard rocks as well. Earlier it was used only with the different type of rocks, that was the compressive strength were varying from 10 megapascal to 70 megapascal, but nowadays it is being tried and it is also getting successful in some harder rock as well. Now, this loosening it is done by high speed shearer drums. Exactly, the machine is just a milling machine type. It is working. You will be learning today how this machine is constructed and how it is operating. Our main objective is to introduction of the construction, operation and application of this surface miner. Now, so that after this lecture you will be able to explain the construction, operation and maintenance aspects of this continuous surface miner. Also, you will be able to identify that where this machine can be used in our mining conditions, and then also you will be understanding what are the merits and demerits of it. So, you can see here in the photograph a Vidgen's machine. It is working in stripping of or coal, for production of coal. This application, because you know that this machine as I told is suitable for that it is a level seam, that is if there is a horizontal not much inclined seam is there, and where there is not many geological disturbances, there this machine give a very good performance, provided you get a very long strip, because it will be cutting, and then that is if your short strips, then there will be repeated turning and all. So, if you can get a long strike length a level seam, there it will be giving very good performance. Normally the inclinations up to 7 degree it is okay, and then while operating it, if it is to climb on ramp and all, it can work up to 15 degree. So, there is a, while it can excavate a seam, very thin seam also, even if it is a 2.5 meters thin seam, it can take it out. Now, you can see here one thing, that in India even very valuable high grade coking coal which are less than 1 meter thick seam, it were never mined. It was just abandoned in Jharia coalfield. There were many in the old days, these seams were left. Now, even when they were doing by surface mining, many a time such type of seams get diluted with the overburden rock, and then lot of washing problems come in. But this machine, by its method of work, you will be learning today that it can take out a small strips also separately it can cut. So, that is a very good advantage of this machine. And only disadvantage here that this machine cannot work on a hilly terrain, it cannot work when there is a lot of disturbance, geological disturbance in the seam. And this one thing is there, when you use this machine, then there is no need of drilling and blasting. So, you know that in the mines, when drilling and blasting is not there, then it will not produce much dust and fume. So, that means these machines can be considered as an environmentally friendly machine, because it eliminates drilling and blasting. So, with the by elimination of drilling and blasting, you also reduce a number of people required to do the mining operations. So, that means you can downsize the manpower, and which will be adding into your profit. So, there is a lot of advantage of these machines. Now, it can work with as I said that it has got a limitations with the range of the uniaxial compressive strengths. However, it can work in most of the minerals like coal and lignite, it can work in limestone, it works on sandstone, and it was also we tested its work in Nalco's Panchpatmali mines. Even in bauxite it could work with one varieties of machine we studied there earlier. Now, it can do also selective mining, that means if there is a seam and in between there is a parting. Now, this parting also can be separately taken it out and put it over there. So, that ultimately it can be excavated as a selective mining. This is also possible, and then it can, as it will be cutting, its principle you will be soon learning that the way it cuts, it does not produce any big boulders, and if there is no big boulders, then there is no need of a crusher. So, that means the requirement of in-pit crushing has gone. So, that means the fragmentation, total fragmentation energy consumptions, it also get down. So, there are so many advantages of these machines. To summarize, you can tell that there is a this mining method is a continuous mining method, and it will be having low environmental impact. It can do selective mining, and it can as a it work with the low strength materials. There is no drilling and blasting cost, then there is no primary crushings, there is a the production rate of course will be going as a less, because in drilling and blasting, as because you can do a heavy blast, you can make a big fragmentations, and then compatible other big machines can be used, but these machines will not be able to produce that much quantity, or the production rate or productivity of these machines will be less. So, but it can be maintained by putting number of such machines, but that may increase the capital cost. But as because these machines will be eliminating requirement of some other machines, to total cost effectiveness can be seen side to side, or you can create a simple mathematical model for applicability or its cost benefitness in any particular field. So, it is a, as we said, it does not give a dilution, low production loss is there, and then as a result your that recoverable mineral, that is there is no loss of the in situ mineral. In many of the other mining method with drilling and blastings and all, we really leave a lot of coal in the site, and which ultimately get burnt and then create that is a loss of property as well as introduce some environmental problem. So, comparing all those things, this can be a very useful machines because of its less coal loss and dilution, because of its improved coal recovery, because of this reduction of the primary crushing needs, that means the saving of energy, and though there is no need of coal washing. So, by that exactly lot of savings are there. So, these advantages make it a very suitable machine, provided the compressive strength of the rock is there. So, you can see in this figure that in-pit crushing and conveying can be done where in a very hard rock up to 120 140 megapascal it will do, but a continuous surface miner very comfortably can be used up to 60 70 megapascals. But there could be a improvement in the machines, or you can think of giving some new technology over here to use it for the hard rocks also. Now, coming to this, that there are different designs of these machines are available, but basically 3 types of machines are very much used in our industry. One is that is your centrally or middle loading machine, that is the drum, the main cutting drum is located at the center of the machine. That means the machines will be having a 2 set of crawlers, one pair of crawler at the front and pair of crawler at the back, and in between there will be the cutter drums. I will show you the figure next one. The other one is your with a front loading, that is there is a, you can see here in the front there is a cutting drum or cutting wheel buckets, and that will be cutting and the material will be loaded. It can be loaded on a truck or it can be made in window at the back. And the other one is your with a front cutting wheel. You can see here it will be doing a this will be wheel will be rotating in the opposite direction, and the cutting and the material will be just dumped at the in front of the cutting drum, and the machines will be moving in the other directions. So, this is the 3 types of machines we will be just discussing now slowly. You can see here how a front cutting machines they work, and this animated figure will show you how exactly this one company they have been trying these machines so that it can strip a material from there. You can see this machine how it works exactly. This machine has got a drum at the front which can give a transverse this type of rotation, tilting in both the sides, and while it is going to the other direction it is cutting the material and then making a window in front of it. So, this machine is going these directions and the cut material are placed over here. If you see that like that, it will be going on stripping, and then the stripped material can be loaded by a front end loader to a truck, and the truck will be taking out the material from the pit. So, that means this machine is basically it is producing by it will be doing a cutting, that mining phase, then it will be doing a transporting phase by other one. So, that is you can see here the top down cutting, the drum will be rotating in this anti-clockwise direction, and the machines is moving that to the opposite directions, and the materials are placed over here. So, after that the material is dumped, then it can be loaded with another dumper can take out the material. So, it is just with this animated diagram of Vermeer you can know that there is a mining operation, a piling operation and loading operation. These 3 operations in sequence need to be organized in the field so that you can do the work. So, now that is basically now you have seen how it basically you have seen that the front drum machine how it works, and there are different machines has got different specifications. Basically the cutting width, that width it goes from 250 millimeter to 4200 millimeter. Then your front cutting drum can give up to 5250 millimeter, and the other one in a front cutting wheel where you can have a just like a wheel excavator, bucket wheel excavator, or just like a that is your barrel type reclaimer. There will be a the front wheel, their width is going up to 7100 millimeter. Now, the cutting depth you can see that in a middle drum they will be doing a teeth will be cutting a thickness of 800 millimeter, whereas in the front cutting drum they have got a capacity of giving a very thick cutting capabilities. Then the capacity of this it will be depending on the rock type and also the machine configurations. The machines can be weighing up only as low as 40 ton small machines to some 540 ton of very heavy big machine for cutting in very hard rocks also. So, now the installed power capacity depending on the rock strengths and depending on the expected production rate, you will have to have that what will be the total installed power. You can find out between 450 to 1200 kilowatt motors electric power can be installed over there, and it can do it. However, in the front cutting wheel depending on its operational capability there could be a large number of that is that more power can be installed, that power consumptions will be required will be more. So, there are many companies in the world that this Widgen, the German company, they first introduced these machines in our country, and L&T is the company which started producing these machines in our country. Vermeer, they are exactly trying to get market so far, but there are Takarov has also produced these machines, and globally they are the main player now. Now, this is in a nutshell, you have got an introduction of this machine. Now, if you see the construction wise, what is required? Basically, it is a milling. That drum which is rotating, the drum gives exactly a milling or roller operations, that it is exactly below the machines. It will cut just like a drum will be rotating, there will be the cutting pitch, and then the material will be loosened. So, basically it is a mechanical loosening of the rock, and then this drum will have to be there on a supporting frame which will be holding the machines with that the integrity is maintained with the different your constructional the features of the machines, and then there will be the take up chute for supporting the intermediate conveying. Now, what is there, that when the drum cut the material, that material is fed into a discharge boom conveyor. There will be a conveyor belt by which the material will be going to a discharge boom, and that conveyor can load to a truck, or there is a provisions that by just like a your feeder, it will be forming an windrow, and the material will be just piled up at the front of this or the at the opposite to the directions of the motions of the machines. So, you can see here in this diagram, the pictures will be very clear. That means, you can see here, this is a machine in which we are having the operator's cabin here, and then there are two sets of crawlers, as I said, this is the front set, this is the reverse set. And now, this when these machines will be moving, there is a drum, cutting drum at the central position, and then the drive for it is kept over here. It could be a diesel engine. From the diesel engine drive by a bell drive or chain drive, this drum can be rotated, and then when the drum rotates over here, it cuts, and the cut material with the spiral positions in the drum, it get directed to this feeder where a conveyor is there. This will be loading the material to another discharge boom. This boom can be slewed, it can be rotated, or it can be luffed, that means it can be raised and lowered for to giving the loading the material onto the truck. And then there is a mechanism to how this slewing mechanism will be organized, and then while it is cutting, there will be a lot of force will be there, so that this machine do not get unstable. That is why there will be certain counterweight will be also provided. So, that is basically the constructional features of a continuous surface miner. When the drum rotates, you can see the drum has got the cutting peaks. Then now this rotates this cutting peaks, the material it get guided by the spiral between that grooves which is there on the drum to a central positions, and this is the way how the material is taken out. Here is a picture, you can see that the machine which is manufactured at Kanchbahal in Orissa, that L&T's. This machine's features you can see in the front, there is that cabin, exactly the operator controls all the things. Now, all these other functional, there are different powered functions, there the diesel engine, and then the different drives, their clutches, their controls, all can be instrumented, and the operator's cabin can get the real pictures what is going on over there. So, now in this there is why the water tank, because while cutting this machine lot of dust will get generated. So, that dust need to be suppressed, for that a water tank, and then the pump will be there, and they will be spraying through nozzles that water to suppress the dust generated. there will be main diesel tank, and then the engine, diesel engines will be running basically the pump, that is a hydraulic tank for number of hydraulic operations. And then the machine is supported on 4-point support, that 4 crawlers are there, so that this load is distributed through this crawler to the ground, so that the ground pressure given by it is always within the ground bearing pressure, so that the machine does not sink on that rock where it is working on. And then the main, that there is a gird, this belt gird is the belt drive which is given to the drum, that is exactly where here the engine, from the engine shaft the power is taken by the belt to the shaft of the drum which is below, and that is why this is a your belt gird is there. So, there is a controller, number of controller is there, that is by which they need to control the speed of the drum, they need to control that how much pressures will be given on the drum, or exactly how much bite will be given by the drum. So, basically if you are asked that what are the main constructional components of these machines, it has got a drive group, it has got a milling drum unit, it has got a steering and lifting unit, it has got track unit, it has got lubrication system and dust suppression system. Lubrication system is for all the rotating parts, there your lubricant will have to be provided. So, this is a centralized lubrication system where your this lubricants will be kept, and by running a hydraulic your oil pump, it will be giving through lines that exactly it will go to each and every point where the fluid is there, and then ultimately the circuit will be completed. So, that lubrication is another main part that need to be seen during the operations, and then you to do a maintenance over there, you should see that all the oil lubrication system is working well. That will be working by a pump and number of valves giving it to the different points. So, the periodic maintenance will require at what time you need to change the lubricant, and then there the periodicity as well the proper specification of the lubricant should be monitored, and also if the lubricant conditions get changed because of the dust coming in or because of the thermal behavior, if the properties change, particularly the viscosity and this the other that its cooling property, these are very important things. So, that could be seen over here. So, there is the Wirtgen, the company which introduced these machines in our country in a big way, they have got number of models. You can see here the model name from SM 1900 to SM 4200, and there exactly the model they have got the cutting width get changed from 1.9 meter to 4.2 meter, that is the how much width of material it can be cut. If the width is more, you can see that the more material will be, that means the width is dictating what will be the production capacity per hour, and then the cutting depth which can go up to 0.6 meter. There are machines nowadays going up to 1 meter cutting depth is possible, but depending on the type of rock it is there, and the productions up to 1250 meter cube per hour productions only you can get. So, this is a low production rate, but depending on this exactly that which machine is suitable for what. So, that means in our coal mining normally it is for SM 4200 or even a bigger size of machines are exactly being used. So, if you see that we have said that there are different constructional components. Now, each constructional component or the module, what are the main elements will be there. As a drive group, that is which gives the drive, we will find that there is a engine, clutch, pump drive mounting, and engine fuel line, your engine piping, that is your cooling, its fuel sections, its that your the air that turbochargers, and then this exhaust system, all these things are in the drive groups. As well as it takes the your next thing is your milling drum unit. The drum will have to be supported, it will have to be exactly moved, it will have to give, even if you are giving a tilting and all, then your the drive by which it will be given, that drive belt there as well as this the tensioning, all things are there in that unit. Similarly, steering and lifting, that your drum need to be lifted, that is it will be pushed to the ground, or it will be that when you are not traveling the machine without cutting, at that time drum will have to be lifted. Then there is the track undercarriage on which this whole thing will be moving. There are having those tracks, that means that driven track, and there will be your sprocket on which the crawlers will be there. You have already studied about the undercarriage components of other machines. It is similar to that, just like your dozers or shovels, you have learned about it. The lubrication system will be having a hydraulic pump, and then your hose pipe systems and the number of different type of valves, and then you will have to see that how the sequence is controlled, at what timing the lubrications will be moving, and then also there will be inspections whether the oil is getting contaminated or is it not performing, that need to be seen. Similarly, the most important things of the machine is the cutting drum, because ultimately you will have to loosen the rock mass. To loosening the rock mass, that means your this teeth and the drum, they should be strong enough to withstand the cutting, that is overcome the cutting resistance of the rock. Now, for that different rock will be requiring different type of drum, different type of design, but basically what is there, you can see that on the drum there are some tool holder. On the tool holder, it is your tool which is called pick is being mounted. Now, the pick can be of different type, but there is a tungsten carbide tips are there. So, now this cutting drum, it will be when it can rotate, this is in a towards upward, this way it is cutting from here exactly your bottom down, and here it is exactly cutting, taking up the material. You can see here that cutting, it is while it is moving upward, it is taking the material cut, and here when the machine is teeth is going downward, at that time the material is cut. So, that depending on, normally the front drum, they will be cutting in this fashion, while is the central drum, they will be cutting in this fashion. Now, that teeth, that you can see that the picks, it can be of different designs, and their size and all will have to be depending on your site conditions, rock properties. You will have to design that what will be its cutting angle, what will be its clearance angle, and what is your this your mainly the angle or that how it will be mounted over here. So, and then what type of holder will be there. One thing is to be remembered here, that come what may, with a abrasive rock, the tooth will be failing. It is a consumable unit. Now, when you have to replace it, it should not take much time. So, that is why how this pick is fitted into the that your tool holder is very important. So, the designers take care of this, and you can see in between there is a spiral groove, that how the material when it is cut, that material is within the spiral grooves, it gets directed towards the center, so that it can loaded onto the next their feeder or to make the form the windrow. So, here you can see that the dimensions, there are different, we can say large diameter tungsten carbide picks, or there are smaller diameter tungsten carbide pick. So, this the large diameter one are normally they have got a long lifetime, and then this they have got the poor penetrations, low cutting performance, and fine gradation is given. But for the smaller diameter tungsten carbide, they have got low lifetime, but they give good penetration. So, you can see here how with the direction of travel of the machine, this machine material is getting cut, and then it is loaded at the back. So, in the other things, your top up milling, or that when it is moving in machine is moving in these directions, as because this machine is going down and that material is loaded over here. So, you can see here the engine, I told you that from the engine drive is given by belt drive to the drum, and then exactly these crawlers are getting power, and it is the machine is supported at the top of here. So, this gives you a fair idea that how this machines exactly operating. So, the whole performance of this machine will be depending on what is the cutting height, what is the depth of cut, what is the nominal cutting width, what is the drum weight, what is the engine power, the feed speed at which exactly it is moving, and then cutting tool configurations, that rake angle, attack angle, clearance angle, tip angle, then how the peak lashings, how the peaks are placed over there, then what type of peak is used, number of peak and tip of material. So, this about this cutting peaks and things you have studied also with the other machines. Now, if you want to study the productivity of these machines, you can do a lot of theoretical analysis about this parameter, when the hourly production capacity in terms of the value of these parameters can be mathematically modeled, and then you can find out the real data. That is where the main analytics of the productivity of these machines go. It is a very interesting area where you can work. Number of people have done a lot of papers they have written. You can read them, and also you can see the video of this particular machines, so that you can get the feel of how it works. The loading points, that also is a very important, that is where it is loading onto the conveyor belt, loading onto a truck, or making a windrow on the surface. That is what exactly, and then how it is being deployed in the mines, that is your in the mining, how exactly the phase is designed, that also affect the operation of these machines. So, you can easily find out from the website the specifications of different machines. Please make a table or just like this for different makes for their different parameter. This will give you a fair idea exactly what is the present trend of these machines being used. And then you can see here that there are a group, they made some of these machines with a front drum, that is your that it is cutting over here and then loading onto the conveyor belt, and it is going. So, there are, if you see that the output, it depends on the rock's compressive strength, and you can see that with a different rock, different material, your output gets changed in this way. That means, your output will be increasing if your rock compressive strength is less, and there your exactly which particular machines will be giving you what type of performance you can see over here. Now, in a front cutting, this Tokarev has produced is a front loading drum, and you can see that this type of machines also are going to be very promising and high productive machines. Now, there the spiral, you can see over here the cut material, how it get exactly brought towards the center. As a result, when the windrow is formed, the cut material is forming and windrow over in the front of it. So, this is a front cutting drum machines. This also, because of the spiral grooves in between, the way the teeth are laced on the drum, they are exactly making the material to get dumped in front of it, and then you can see this loose material now can be easily loaded by a front end loader to do it. Now, when you are operating with this machine, you need to consider about how you will be doing the steering, how you will be doing the scraping or lifting, the control, how you will make it, when you will be lifting, when you will be lowering, then what will be the your cooling and all these operations are going or not, how will you traveling, and then what are the different auxiliary operations are there. So, if you are a mining engineer, you need to arrange the training of the operator, training of these machines to maintain. So, there you need to study this, the manual, operators manual, or the manufacturers, they provide a checklist, that maintenance you will have to be made. But only thing is that to get the proper benefit of this machine, the machine's hydraulics need to be very well understood, because the through hydraulics you get a different type of control, exactly its speed control, its different type of protections given, then different type of operational possibility that is controlled by the hydraulic system. So, you will have to study the manufacturer manual and find out that how you can improve that thing, and if you neglect or if you do not follow the maintenance schedule, you may live into a trouble. Now, one main important limitation is that in our coal mine, the overburden is sandstone, which sometimes go up to 120, 150 megapascal. Under that, these existing machines cannot work. Now, how to improve it is a innovations you need to think of. So, That something you can think, this is exactly not anywhere being done. I am just telling you so that you can think of some innovations by pre-breaking. So, what I conceptualized it like this, that you can have a vibrator, a precursor. If this machine is there, if by changing that, by studying whatever its total power, if we can keep an pre-breaker or an impactor in front, so that it will be giving a crack will be developed over here. Now, when the machines will be, now if it is a hard intact rock which normally the drum cannot cut, but because of the pre-breaker or a impactor in front, it will be able to break it and then it will be able to cut it. So, this was I conceptualized about few days, but no students have yet worked on this. So, this is an idea you can do, and other things you may think of yourself, that how a new machines can be developed in India, that if the Krupp comes or if the L&T, they want to make an add-ons into their machines and make it capable, or if it's a productivity can be increased in a hard the sandstones which are available in our mine, then we can use it in the overburden also. Today this machine is being used in the mainly with coal. Some attempts are going on in the sense in the overburden also, but the economics of that need to be yet to be proved. So, there you please think of your innovative idea how you can do it. So, what I have shown here, that if we want a vibrating impactor over there, you will have to isolate that vibrations from the main machines. How will you design that? Then the propelling drive will have to take care of the additional resistance of the pre-breaker support that will be there in front. So, then the whether the machine dynamics will be properly managed or not. So, that it will be a whether it will be a spring loaded, mechanical or hydraulic, that type of things. As a innovators, you need to do some creative thinking and do it. But if you can do this, make this type of hard rock mining capability comes, it will give a multi-million-dollar business in India, because India producing more than 500 million ton of coal from surface mines, and if it comes with such a huge amount of 1:4 stripping ratio, overburden can be removed. There will be needs of a large number of such machines. And another thing to finally I tell you, that the productivity of these machines will be depending on how much exactly the time we can do, how quickly you can do the work, and that is your actual amount of material filled to the tipper, and then your that what is that if the theoretical capacity which is given over there. So, there is a standard procedure for calculating the productivity, and also it depends on the cutting depth and operating speed and the bulk density of the material. So, from there you can find out this calculate out these parameters, and ultimately you can how many number of trucks it can fill within a short period, you can find it out. So, depending on the application site, the productivity will be different, but ultimately one thing is to be known, that the surface miner, it is a versatile useful equipment, but you need to plan its uses in the field properly, and for that the knowledge is power. You will have to learn the mechanism, how it works. It has got electrical component, it has got hydraulic component, it has got mechanical component, and they will have to be maintained. So, that is why today I have just introduced you that this is a machine which can be studied, and it has got a future in India, and it requires certain modifications, certain development, and some improvements over here. So, basically what we have learnt is, we have talked about the constructions, and then these machines is in a modular machine, and then its operations. Operator need the skill of controlling, particularly steering, lifting, and then managing the that how much exactly will be the bite, and he need to put on observations on how the teeth are getting worn out. The one most important disadvantage is here, that the teeth which will be just wearing out very fast is a replaceable item. You will have to maintain an inventory, and the original equipment manufacturers normally keep the right to get their only teeth, and their manufacturing in India, the inventor, that is your spare parts and the teeth, that could be also another business, some startup, and the business can come up. So, I hope you have understood these machines, and please prepare and study from the different available resources. Thank you very much.